She recognized the handwriting immediately. The moment her eyes fell on the envelope, her stomach tightened. The letters were uneven, slightly slanted to the right, pressed hard into the paper, like whoever wrote it wanted to make sure the words couldn't be erased. She hadn't seen that handwriting in 12 years, and she was sure she never would again. The envelope was addressed to her current name, not the name she had back then, not the name that appeared in the old police report, not the name he used to whisper, which meant one thing. He knew where she was. 12 years earlier, in the winter of 2014, 19-year-old Clara Bennett disappeared from her college campus without warning. No signs of struggle, which meant one thing. He knew where she was. 12 years earlier, in the winter of 2014, 19-year-old Clara Bennett disappeared from her college campus without warning. No signs of struggle, no defensive wounds. Her car was still in the parking lot. Her phone was found powered off inside her dorm room drawer. But the most unsettling detail? Clara is seen leaving her building calmly and getting into a car. She opens the passenger door willingly. She even smiles. The footage cuts out 30 seconds later. The driver's face is never seen. Clara was declared missing. Search parties were organized. Her parents pleaded on local news stations. Weeks turned into months, months into years. Eventually the case went cold. But Clara Bennett didn't die. She reinvented herself because the driver wasn't a stranger. It was someone she trusted. Someone who had spent months isolating her, rewriting her thoughts, convincing her she didn't need anyone else. He never locked her in a basement. He didn't need to. Psychological captivity is far more effective than chains. He moved her 3 states away, introduced her to neighbors as his fiancée, took her phone for safety, read her emails, corrected her when she misremembered events. Over time, her world shrank to the size of his voice, until the night she left. He had underestimated one thing: memory. Specifically, the memory of who she used to be. She waited until he was asleep, walked out with nothing but a wallet and a bus ticket she'd secretly bought weeks earlier, because she was afraid no one would believe her. No bruises, no restraints, just control. So she changed her name, changed her hair, changed states again, started over. And for 12 years, it worked. Until the envelope arrived. No return address, just her name written in that unmistakable slanted script. Inside was a single sheet of paper. No greeting, no explanation, just one sentence. You left without saying goodbye. Her hands started shaking, because that sentence wasn't angry, it wasn't threatening, it was intimate. She called the police. This time she told them everything. About the manipulation, the isolation, the years she lost. The officers listened carefully. But without physical evidence, without witnesses, without prior reports, there wasn't much they could do. They suggested a restraining order, told her to stay vigilant, change routines, install cameras. 3 days later, another letter arrived. This time, no envelope, just a folded note placed under her apartment door, meaning he had been there. Inside, another sentence: "You always forget to lock the balcony." She didn't have a balcony. At least, not one visible from the street. Only someone who had been inside would know that. Police finally pulled surveillance from surrounding buildings, and there he was. A man standing across the street at 2:13 a.m., looking up at her window. He hadn't aged much, but his posture was the same. Still, patient, certain. He wasn't rushing. Because to him, this wasn't a hunt. It was unfinished business. He was arrested 2 weeks later, charged with stalking and criminal harassment. But during questioning, he remained calm, smiling even. He told detectives something chilling. "She'll come back. They always do." But she didn't. This time, she stayed. And when the prosecutor held up the letters as evidence, the jury leaned forward. Because even without fingerprints, even without DNA, you could see it. The pressure marks on the page. The way the pen carved into the paper. Like the writer was trying to leave a permanent scar. Handwriting experts confirmed what she already knew. The same slant, the same pressure, the same obsession. He was sentenced to 7 years. Not for kidnapping, not for imprisonment, but for stalking. Because sometimes the law can only punish what it can prove, not what it can understand. Today, Clara lives under her original name again. She says something interesting in interviews. She says the scariest part wasn't the letters. It wasn't seeing him across the street. It wasn't even the years she lost. It was how quickly she recognized the handwriting. Because it meant a part of her had never really forgotten him. And maybe that's the kind of captivity that lasts the longest. If this story unsettled you, that's because psychological control rarely looks like a crime until it's too late. Subscribe for more true crime cases that go beyond headlines. Manipulation, the obsession, and the warning signs most people miss. And tell me in the comments, do you think psychological captivity should carry the same weight as physical kidnapping? Because sometimes The most dangerous prisons don't have locks.